I think she was right in there when MTV was coming of age as well, and started to become a vehicle for people to get their songs into people's heads.
I first saw the video to Like a Virgin in America, and I wasn't sure if I liked it at that point or not, but I remembered it. And hey, there's not many artists or bands can say that about their first track that's trying to launch their career. That I still, to this day, I can still see it. I can still see her on the boat, in the Venice type canal and all that sort of thing. Still see it in my mind. So that had a great impact on me. So from that point of view, I think she definitely broke the mold, because she was saying, I'm an independent woman, I'm strong, and I can be slut-like or stroke sexy or whatever I want to be, and you're just going to have to live with it. And that was unusual. That was very unusual.
Nobody was really doing anything like that just then. I don't think anybody had done that before, and certainly in pop music it was something pretty new, and it was pretty outrageous, the image of the male lion and turning into the human with the lion's head, and that was very strange stuff. Very bold video, and she would get much bolder as time went on, but that was certainly a head turner at the time.
She was playing on male fantasies, basically. And one was, congenial. The other was, you can be a material girl, you can buy me with diamonds. And so I think it was all tied up with that, trying to press male buttons, but at the same time having fun with it, taking a piss a little bit.
Yeah, I think Madonna varied her image not only with every album, almost with every single and every video. The material girl thing was Marilyn Monroe, Like a Virgin, she's in a wedding dress. Each time she did this, the world was kind of going, wow.
The Material Girl video is probably one of the first times when you saw sort of a striking contrast between her street style and also the ability to glam up at a drop of a hat. And I think that set the tone for all of her future changes of image, from one video to the next, within the same album, 5 different images.
If you were going to sort of do a timeline of Madonna's image, I think you'd probably start with a wedding dress and her Brits photo on the sleeve. That was costume change number 1. And the fact that she went through 3 or 4 costume changes during that album and the subsequent single releases and the live show, I think it made people aware that, she wasn't just a pop star who was going to turn up and sing, there was a lot more to her.
I think the Like a Virgin album was very much the point at which Madonna realised she could do a lot more with her image, her use of costume, her use of characters, her use of drama and theatre, and all the things that she suddenly saw she could do. Eventually she would have the budget to be able to do all of these and to do them in fine and sometimes very controversial fashion.
The one thing she regrets in her early career is Material Girl. And it wasn't written by her, that's an important thing to say. It was written by a couple of disco pop writers at the time. And I think she didn't like that statement of materialism, although it was very much in keeping with the times.
I suppose, you do associate the 80s with the economic boom in the States and in the UK as well.
But I still think that although Material Girl, is about a material girl living in a material world, it still would have broken as a big hit, even if it was a recession, because I just think it had that uniqueness about it and that freshness about it. It was good, feel good, a quality pop song. It might not have felt quite so good for people who were suffering in a recession, start hearing about a Material Girl, but then she's an outspoken, colourful character. So I still think it would have done well, but it just sat well in the scheme of things in the 80s, being so all about being big and greed and lots and and although I've never thought Madonna was actually all about being materialistic. I wonder if that was a slight kind of tongue-in-cheek bit of satire that she was having a go at in her song. I don't know. Possibly.
Material Girl was meant to be ironic. She said that several times, and I think that she was quite annoyed herself that the media made it out to be sort of promoting the sort of yuppie lifestyle, all the money that was being made on the stock market and everything else in the 80s. And I think it bugged her a bit that she felt people didn't get it.
Yeah, he's still after me. I just gave him a necklace. I don't know, I think it's real diamonds. Yeah, he thinks he can impress by giving me expensive gifts. It's nice though. You want it?
And it only takes someone to watch the video to realize what she was trying to say was actually, that her character in the video is not bothered about wealth and fame and everything else. She just wants a man that's going to impress her, with a bit of romance. And by the end of the video, she goes off with the guy when he shows up in a farmer's truck and hands her some weedy-looking flowers. So I think really, I think her point was made in the video right from the very start.
The Material Girl video was a perfect follow-up to Like a Virgin because she appropriated the image of Marilyn Monroe in its entirety.
The record company wouldn't listen to her idea that she wanted to do this pastiche of Marilyn Monroe, and they kept on giving her loads and loads of different ideas, but she insisted that they do this, and this was the first instance of Madonna kind of putting her foot down and saying, let's do it my way. And from that point on, she had a hand in pretty much everything to do with her career.
A little bit of the chorus and a little bit of the verse first of all, a little riff that starts at the beginning of it. Now the interesting thing about this song is it's really a very simple song structure-wise, musically, and it was produced by Nile Rodgers, and there's a very interesting little thing at the very beginning of it. The riff that you hear, which goes from the synthesizer, is actually really like a Tamla Motown thing. If you think of it, take it away from Material Girl, it becomes like a Tamla Motown track. Makes sense. You listen to, Nile Rodgers producing it, the chic stuff. It's got a groove instantly. So there's his little flag coming up. So before the track starts, you've got a groove that's a little bit familiar. Because the chord structure of it is not like a Tamla Motown song at all. The chord structure is a very simple, straightforward little song. But with Madonna's voice on top of it and what she's singing about, it immediately has the stamp of the Madonna. So basically I'll go through the verse first. So you have the riff to start with. And then the verse consists of a bunch of chords, which the first chord is C major to B flat major to A minor, and then C major to D minor to G major to C major. So I'll now play that sequence. So it goes. that's the verse sequence. Then the next sequence, which is the chorus, goes F major to G major to A minor, F major to G major to A minor, F major to G major to A minor, F major to G major to C. And that's basically the whole song. So I'll play the chorus sequence. The slight difference is they hold on the G chord for another couple of beats just to work with their melody. So the chorus goes. Back to the verse again. So it's really simple, but the way that Nile Rodgers put the whole track together, in a sense, sort of disguises the simplicity. He's a really good arranger, in the sense that take a simple bunch of chords and he'll do interesting little things with them. So not a lot is going on, but what is going on is right and feels good. So with her on top, and especially at the end, she's doing all that high, you know, all that sort of daft stuff that she does. It works, and it's completely individual, and it was a template for a lot of the stuff from that period, of all her songs. You'll see they're very similar in their structures. Very simple, but cleverly arranged. So that's Material Girl.
불포락스의 미션은 쾌변의 기쁨을 모두에게 알리는 것이죠.
Are in the yard and ready to go.
Cincinnati's on the move.
Copy that. All posts be advised. Cincinnati moving to the cars. Break. Montrose, what's your status? School.
Right. Classic is moving.
Montrose command post. Copy that. Break. All posts be advised. Classic moving to the cars.
Copy command. Cincinnati is in the yard. Classic is in the car. 1 and 2 back. Right. Command post. Signal departure. Canvas's location. We're set. This is Children Security. Counter snappers reporting. Down locator.
School security room from EOD-1. Be advised, the sweeps are now complete.
All posts on Leo be advised. Full security now in flight. Thanks for doing this with me.
I think I'll go to the beach house this afternoon.
Can I help you?
Agent Breckenridge's office. Thanks.
Anything else I can help you with?
No, I'm fine. Thanks. Agent Breckenridge? Jill Marin, sir. Your secretary said I could come in.
Secretary.
You're late.
It's a minute past.
Yeah, and that makes you late.
Right, sorry.
Hispanic woman, 4 languages, computer skills, second in your class at the academy. Well, aren't you the recruiting poster? Resumes don't mean a lot to me, but they mean absolutely nothing on the street.
Any other supportive advice before we get to know each other?
As a matter of fact, there is. If you want a career here in PID, you might want to invest in some more appropriate clothing. I was ordered to take you on, that's why I'm here. You requested me as a TA. Why?
My field instructor at the academy said you're the best investigator we have.
Who was that?
Pete Garrison.
Right.
Command post from Apache follow-up. We have an arrival.
All posts are command post to all radio for essential traffic only. We have an arrival.
Post on ground.
This is someone of whom I know very
all forces collected, wrapping up.
Thank you.
Fidelity Command, Cincinnati Leading School for Serenity. Greg, battle to surround the security room. ETA 1800 hours.
How do you think it went in there?
Excuse me, ma'am, you talking to me?
Yes.
I thought it was an excellent speech.
1 to 10.
10, yeah.
You're not a very good liar, Pete.
Seriously?
Yes. I really want to know.
9.5.
So all of these are from last week?
There's about half of them. And then there are the verbal threats.
He's a dead man. I'm going to kill him and his whole family. He's ruining this country, and I'm going to gut him.
You sound worse in English.
Yeah, I got this guy yesterday. Did you translate this?
No. Whoever did's not a native speaker.
How do you know that?
Well, you translated here, para poner presión le dio una mordida. And that literally means to put pressure on him, he bit the guy, as if he was being tortured. But that's not what it means here. It's slang. It means he bribed him. He didn't bite him.
Good.
We need to talk.
I think you have a little spinach or something in your teeth.
I want you to run all calls through my cell. You put the hell of a day to start your field work. Button up your jacket.
What? What's going on?
Here comes the Secret Service.
I really don't need them breathing down my neck. What the hell do they know about investigating the murder?
She can breathe down my neck. But not him.
Agents Breckenridge, Marin, Secret Service.
You guys bring lunch?
Not today.
I see it, he hands over the wallet. As the guy reaches for it, Merriweather goes for his gun. Bad guy shoots him first.
You think this is a street crime?
In my gut, yeah.
You know my problem with gut feelings? Once you have them, the only evidence you see is the evidence that reinforces your gut feeling. Human nature.
There's no money left in his wallet. There's been a series of robberies here the last 2 months. You have some reason to think it wasn't a robbery?
Well, Agent Merriweather spent the last 25 years honing his ability